Hello, this is Rio of the Mari server, better known as Catnip Mafia. Before we get started, I do wish to apologize for any background noise. It is my furnace, and as it is very cold where I live, I need it to survive. So you're probably going to hear a lot of weird things, like all these chocolates on my table, and probably cats. I have cats, so you're going to hear them. Anyways, I am a composer on Mabi. It is what I do. Although my magic is pretty decent, I am like the laziest mage ever. I find that writing scripts makes me useful. So I thought, hey, let's help people write their own scripts. It's like super fun and really won't help you get a job IRL, but again, it's fun. So, without further ado, let me introduce you to this program here. It's called 3ML Editor. And this is the second version. It has English, even though the original is Japanese. And it is probably the best way to compose music. Anyways, so I'd like to point out probably the most important thing is where my cursor is here. That is where you will actually type script. And as you type, you'll be able to see the notes appear on your screen. Over here you can scroll up and down to see the different octaves, and you can shrink, expand, see more octaves. Anyways, up here you can see different tracks. As you should know, in Mabi you only get 3 to compose onto, not counting the voice track. You can add more. Append right here. So in the future, if you want to make a duet or more, you can make some more tracks. Yes, it does have an undo button. That's good. I like that. Best button ever for anything. Anyways, back to scripting. So, it's pretty easy as far as the notes go. Get on the right track here. The notes are A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and back to A. And then, well, there are the sharps and flats. So for a sharp, you would write a plus, for a flat, a minus. You make it easy on yourself and just make them sharps. Anyways, I bet you all just want to see a song get wrote. Really? Yeah, that's why you're here. We all know. I mean, yeah, let's cut to the chase. For your enjoyment, I have chosen Sonic 2, Mystic Cave Zone. Ooh, yay, childhood. Yeah. Ooh, shaking table. You didn't hear that. So, well, where I usually start is with the bass. The lowest notes usually is the backbone for any song. So let's listen. Now, we don't want to get too far, because we've got to work at this song little by little. So, we gotta start with that opening. Come on, that's pretty cool. Let's listen to that again. So, we're gonna go back into the 3MLE and find the notes for that. That's an A. That's a B. And C, but that needs to come up to the next octave instead of going back down to 4. That's an E, D, sharp, back to E, G, E. Now, it's sound pretty bland right now because the default note is a quarter note. We'll get over to quarters and eighth notes and 16th notes in a little bit. Let's just see what we got. Oh yeah, that's definitely the melody. It's gonna need to be lower though. So, let's bring the octave down. How far should we bring it? 2 sounds good. 1 only goes so far for most instruments. Since we're composing for the average instrument, we're gonna stay in the 2nd octave just for this part of the song. So if I write O2, it's going to change everything down to the 2nd octave. And remember, you can always change it later. So, we're getting somewhere. Okay, so obviously those notes sound shorter. So it worked. They're eighth notes. And we can make them even shorter by typing 16, which you kind of, more is less. So if you think 4 plus 4 is 8, but that's going to be half of 4, and then 8 plus 8 is 16. That's going to be half of 8, 16. Wow. You know, trying to explain it sounds kind of confusing. You're pretty much going more for shorter, if that makes any sense. Ooh, now that sounded a lot closer. So then, let's try 8 for that one. I wonder what these all sound like as 8th notes. It's running in the next measure. That's kind of uneven. Usually, if something's gonna sound right, it will end before the next measure. So I'm sure we're gonna be throwing some more 16th notes in there. I'm guessing, just a hunch, that 16th note is gonna go right here. If you think back to how it sounds, it kind of skips right there too. Let's see what that sounds like. Ooh, now that's sounding good. I like that. Now, it might seem a little slow. We'll have to listen to the song again later. But for the future, when we're gonna speed things up or slow them down, I have to change the tempo. Now, the default tempo is written as 120. Now, to change the tempo, get this, bet you didn't see this coming, you write a T, big surprise, and then the speed. Since the default tempo is 120, we want it to sound a little faster, well, we can try 130. Yeah, that's definitely faster. Now, 200 is about as fast as you're gonna get or wanna go. Pretty fast. We'll change the tempo later after we get a little further in the song. So right now, we just want to save it. I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna put it in my secret folder here. Stop looking. Don't look. You're looking. Stop. it saves as its own MML file. Now, while composing a song, you want to keep in mind, in the back of your head, that eventually you're going to run out of space. You kind of want to conserve your scripting. Now, in the game, when you go to paste your script into the scrolls, you only get so much space to actually put stuff. Now, if you go to the Mabinogi, I think that's how you say it. That's how I've always been saying it since beta, so Mabinogi World Wiki, they will tell you how much space you get for each rank of composing. Now, since I know I have rank 1, I'm gonna go with the max. So in the first track, I can do 1,200. Second track, 800. Third track is 500. And so, just gotta keep in mind which track has what number limit. Alright, time for the first script conserving technique. So we got all these eighths here to change them into eighth notes. But what do you think that if we could find a way to change those into eighth notes without wasting all that space by writing 8, that would save a lot of space, right? So at the beginning of a line of notes, if you type L and then the number for what type of note you want it to be, in this case 8, it's going to change any note that doesn't specify behind it what type of note it is. It's going to change it into that note. So see, our first note here, 8, which was originally a default 4, got changed to an 8th note. So that one we definitely need to tell we want it to be 4 again. But as for the rest of these, we can actually delete all the 8s from behind them and nothing will change. And look, we just got rid of a bunch of space that we can use for other notes, make the song longer, better. You gotta save that. Control S, stir. See? Still the same, but with less space taken up. Find out what the next part of the song is. Okay, we want to start with that bass. Oh, I think that starts on the A. And that's pretty high. Since it's bass, let's go down to 1. Ooh, it's gonna jump up to the next octave for that one. Okay, I'll put you on pause. Save the trouble. I'll write this and get back to you. Alright, and now I'm back. As you can see, I changed a lot of these notes to 16th with our trusty script right here. Yay! And then, of course, changed our octaves with these to make it go up and down. Now I'm going to point out one thing right here. Now, we can obviously extend this note to the end. It's not going to sound bad. We could leave it the way it is, or we could fill in the rest of the space. Make the song sound a little more whole. If we wanted to, there are 2 ways to extend the length of a note, because change that to 4. That's too long. looks like another 16th note would fit just fine. But we want it to be one solid note. I put G sharp in there. It's a 16th note because of our little script back here. But now it's two notes. If we put an and sign between those, it becomes one solid note. There's also one more thing we can do. If we put a period, it will extend the previous note by the next smallest note length. Say, if this note was 4, and I added a period, it would extend it by another 8. Since it is 8 already, and I add the period, it extends it by 16. Alright, let's listen to our song again. So, that bass part, it sounds the same pretty much for two measures. So, if I just copy and paste, I've got it again. And I don't need this script here since it's already back here to begin with. And that's where it sounds like it stops in the actual song for that measure. So I'll just delete the end. Pay attention to the bass again. So it sounds like it goes do, do, do. So we'll put that E back in there. Yeah, that sounds a lot like it. Now keep in mind that when you're writing a song for Mabi, you're kind of going to have to improvise. You're not going to be able to make it sound exactly like it. You're just going to have to get as close as you can. If it sounds good, go with it. If it can sound better, then fix it. Alright, so we've been playing with this first track for quite a bit. I think it's time we can start adding a little more. During the opening, there really isn't anything else going on. And then it starts during that second measure. So, let me introduce the rest script. I bet you can't guess what letter that is. So by default, it becomes a 4th note. But we kinda need this whole area here to not have anything in it. So I'm going to put a 1. And it'll rest for a whole measure, or rest for half a measure, or quarter of a measure, eighth of a measure. You get the idea. 1 measure. Let's see, what can we put in this one? So again, by default, these will be 4th notes. G, ooh. Watch where you put those scripts, man. Now, those need to be pretty long. I'm guessing probably going to be half notes. Let's try that. Oh, look at that. Or, listen to that. Alright, let's listen to our song again and see if we can find a part of it that would fit the third track, that wouldn't take up a lot of scripting space. Something simple. Something important, though. There. Dun-dun. Did you hear that? The jaws? Now, that sounds like a good part to put in there. And it wouldn't take up a lot of space. So, B, and that's gonna be a C, but it's gonna go down an octave again. Here's a trick when you're not wanting to jump octaves. You can actually do B sharp, which is the same as C. You can actually do B plus to bring it up to C without actually typing C. That'll be a good spot here. And that's definitely going to be in octave 1 because it's way in the bass. And I'm guessing it's probably eighth notes. We can always change that later, of course. And we need it to be over in the second measure, so rest 1, rest 2, and let's do rest 4 and a dot. Let's see if that's in the right spot. Oh yeah, it is. Alright, we got that in place. Probably could have to adjust the volume later, but for now I think that's good. Now, I'm thinking, there's a part in the song, it goes do-do-do-do-do, something like that. You'll hear it. I'm thinking that's probably going to take up a lot of script, so I'm going to put it in the first track. Whatever that was. That's important. That gives the song character. I definitely want to include it. So it's going in the first track. I'm going to go put that in and put some more stuff together. I'll get back to you and explain what I did. Alright, welcome back. So as you can see, I got a little busy here at the beginning. I fixed some timing in the opening. I changed the tempo. I actually made it slightly slower. To save some space in the third track, I actually moved that Jaws theme, that's what I'm going to call it, to track 2. So there's barely anything in track 3, which is awesome because, well, there's not a lot of room to begin with. Look, I'm already at 20 characters. I only get 500. This song, I kind of want it to, be a little longer. Now, here's a nice little feature of 3ML. If you go to track, you go to optimize options and optimize all tracks. Save that. Now let's hear what I got so far after I changed the tempo and fixed some of those notes and blah de blah. Yeah, I think that kind of sounds like the song we're trying to make, don't you think? Alright. Well, I'll go add some more and do the same thing. Now I've changed it to mandolin because you can hear the bass a lot easier in the mandolin than you can the lute. Now usually for the bass part, I like to keep that as high as the volume can go because bass is the backbone of good song. So the highest volume is 15. So you'd write a V and then 15. Now that's a lot louder than it was before. And then something for that melody, usually keep around 14 or 15 depending on, the song and what sounds best. Now something like this, I'm gonna keep that at 15 also, just because it's part of the bass line. And when it switches up to take the rest of track 2, I'm gonna change that to 15 to match so it doesn't sound too awkward during the transition. Now, down here I definitely want this part to be softer. Probably going to bring it down to 12. Let's see what that sounds like. I'll bring that down to 10, a little bit softer, so it blends in more.